Hello everyone and welcome back to Romula One. It is Season 6, Round 2 here in Greece. We have just gotten Q1 underway. Currently looking at Hiaz here in the Midnight Star. Both Midnight Stars are here. Their reserve driver Cubson has gone to Isota for today's race. We can also see Racing 22 there for, I believe that's Probira. That's what it is, Probira. Unless I'm completely wrong, but yeah. We have Green Ninja Warrior and Kanye Melon, both drivers in the NWA. Train Pig is not here today, sadly enough, so there won't be as much competition at the front. Hue Performance have both Luca and Just Miriam there in their cars. ASM and James Rigby are both driving the Spectrons. Of course, GeForce have Chris Boy and Epic Lex are driving them. We have Unmasked in the other Probira. We have Clocks in the other Midnight Star. We have Outguard in the Accelerate. And Leon in the Zanlioge. Currently 14 drivers in the, well, at least 14 drivers on track today for now. There's a 15th one, Simo, for Zanlioge. Currently still looking, actually, let me see the lap count. There might not be a lap count. There definitely is a lap count. I just don't know the amount, sadly enough. Going back to the other practice sessions, practice 1, M Lawless for Accelerate, topped the timing sheets. He was here for FP3. Don't know where he is now, but Dino Monkey at least top P1. That's his other name, I guess. James Rigby was second fastest. Chris was third fastest in FP1, all within about 0.2 of a second. Oh dear Lord! Nice job, Hiaz. That's him back into the pit lane. Currently looking at Outguard. There is a Dino Monkey there down at 16th on the board. He is now on track. He's looking very fast this weekend. Great cameras as well from the developers. This is gonna be a great race. Oh dear, bro, Dino. There was also another car in front of him that went off onto the sausage curbs. I think he's reset back into the pits. But going back to free practice 2, Chris Boy was the fastest with a 122.1, which is the fastest time we've seen so far this entire weekend. In fact, he's one of 2 drivers to make it into the 122s. Epic Lexer had a 123.3 in P2, and James was third fastest in FP2 with a 123.5. And then finally, earlier today in free practice 3, Dino Monkey here, as we watch, topped the session with a 122.7. Just Miriam P2. And Epic Lexer P3, both with a low 123. Also, both on medium tires, while every other lap time was set on softs. I mean, actually, they could have just ended the session on mediums, so that's probably what happened. But yeah, actually, you know what? That timing for FP3 is very close. Just Miriam has a 123.2. You go down to P6. His teammate Luca had a 123.4. Both G-Forces and James also in the mix there for the top 6, at least in FP3. Currently polled, though, is Chris Boy with the 123.3, which seems to be a very, very decent lap, especially for a lot of this field. Of course, we still have time for the last 2 qualifying sessions, so let's see how this shakes up. But right now, I think in the drop zone is Leon, Dino Monkey, and Hiaz. All of them with time. Jesus, that's a... No valid times really for them. I think the same for Kanye that they're in P13. And Sima has a 137.1, so not really blistering lap times down the field. We can go down with a Dino Monkey here. Coming across the line now, Dino Monkey. Is this out? It's a, wow, 122.9. That is the third 122 we've seen this weekend. At least that I've seen this weekend. Currently on board with Luca there, down in P13. He is on the bubble, but not really a valid lap time, to be honest. About 13 seconds off the pace. Here he is coming across the... I think this is the final sector, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since we've been here in Greece, so please excuse my knowledge. There we go. Through the last chicane, and finally to the line. Is this the outlap? It's not. Up to P6, 124.0. Currently, I believe going out currently are, well, actually, now there's a 17th driver. There's Cubs in for the Isota. Finally making it out on track with 6 minutes left on the clock. Currently, the slowest time, well, the slowest valid lap time is at 137.1 by Simo in the Zanlioge. There's the other Isota by Super Yop. So I believe 4 cars will be going out this session, the bottom 4. And that currently comprises of both Zanlioge and Isota racing cars. They're not really, both Isotas haven't put a lap time in, so they have time. Let me just see what their fastest times were in FP3, if they were in it. Simo and Leon were the... Okay, so both Zanlioges were some of the slowest ones in FP3. They were 16th and 17th out of 18 cars. Cupson up to P16, 135.8. I believe that was just more of an outlap, really. I think now he is on his first flying lap. We'll see where he finishes this lap out. Both the Sotas weren't that bad, actually. Cupson was P10 and Super Yacht was P13, so I would assume they should definitely make it through to the next session. But we'll have to wait and see. There's 5 minutes left on the clock. Currently, Dino Monkey still the fastest. Chris P2, just Miriam P3, and James P4 with Epic Lexer P5. Quickly going back to the last race, which was a few weeks ago, Chris Boy had a pretty dominant win in Berlin. Really, the only other challenger was Train Pig, but sadly, he just could not keep up with Chris Boy. I think more of a strategy. I think it was more. I kind of forgot. But I think it was a strategy call, where he just kind of went away from the main strategies. Same with Dino Monkey. Well, not really went away. He just broke his front wing like twice during that race. So G-Force had a 1-2 that day. Chris Boy P1, Epic Lexer P2 with Train in P3. Going across the line, Cupson well over the curbs to the line and goes up to P8, 124.2. I would say he's probably safe with that time. Currently on the bubble, unmasked in the Pro Era. Unmaster. Still not really on pace, I would say. I mean, yeah, the pace is about just about a mid-20s, like a 124. Definitely what you want to see from your drivers. Again, yeah, Unmastered, not really using all of the track, at least as much as he can get away with compared to the Midnight Star. Going a lot more wider there on entry as well. Cutting more inside on the, I think the Midnight just went wide on the first Apex. But to the line, Unmastered goes up to P13, and that was the one of the Midnight Stars. I believe that's Hiaz or Clocks. It was one of the two. Chris Boy, though, still trying to improve his time, I suppose. He's still pretty fast. He's going to be fine. Although he is one of the fastest drivers in this league. He hasn't had... Actually, has he? He hasn't had a one... Yeah, he has a one. He has had the fastest 122, 22.1. So he still has the pace. He's just not showing it off right now as he goes over the sausage curbs. Currently going out of this session, Super Yup P18, Kanye P17, Leon and Simo, both for Zanlioges. Simo needs to gain 2 seconds to get into Q2. Leon needs to gain 4 seconds, and both Kanye and Super Yup just need to get good. Let's go check out Kanye Melon there, the reserve for NWA and also the team owner. He has had, I mean, he is a Romula One driver from last season. He's a decent driver. It's just don't know what's happening here today. Do not know what's happening. Just looking at some of the stories going into this race. Heat Performance, of course, one of the good midfield teams here. Not exactly a team that will fight for wins. But if any of the top drivers do make mistakes, they'll be there for a possible podium and definitely going to be there for some good points. So, of course, just Miriam and Pailuka, both P3 and P8, very much on pace and very much looking to get some great points here. Zanlioge as well, another team not exactly doing well. They're a storied team with a lot of history, especially in a lot of, a lot of good racing series, but today, I don't know, it's just not going well. These drivers cannot perform, at least on this track. Saying that, Leon has moved up into P14, putting racing into P15. Here's Kanye Millen across the line. I'll see if he can improve his time. Or if that was that an outlap? I have no idea. Either way, time does not change. Less than a minute left in this session. On the bubble, Leon in P14, just a 10th and a half faster than Racing 22. Let's see, Cubson, he's in P9. Where's Super Yop? There he is. Super Yop in the other Isota. Coming across the line to start, I believe, his final lap of the session with 20 seconds left on the clock. Super Yop up into P17, so that was a lap. Kind of. At least he isn't last. He's not technically last, so we'll go on board for this lap. Coming up to, I believe, a fast right-hander. Very close to the wall. I think he slightly tapped the wall. Bit of a jiggle there at the wall, at the apex. Still looking okay. Not exactly able to use as much track as he would want to there. Going over the curb pretty smoothly. That's a bit ooh, that was close. That's definitely what you want to see. Getting as close as you can to the curve, just to use as much track as you can. But of course, it's very, very long. I would say straight, but pretty windy as well. But completely flat out and into the last sector here. Double rights into a fast chicane coming up. This is Roblox at its finest. Very fast chicane. Not really going over the curves. Going as wide as you can and to the line. Where will he come? P15, not enough. Kanye as well, also up into P7. He is through to Q2. Currently going out, Super up in P15 with a 25.7. Leon out as well. Racing 22 is out, and Simo is out with a 128.2. So you needed basically a 124 to get through, but unmastered. Very close. I mean, 6/10 isn't that close, but still relatively close. Green Ninja Warrior there, P13, ASM P12, clocks to P11. If they want to get into Q3, they'll have to improve their times as well. Cups and P10 with a 124.2. This is not exactly the camera I would have wanted, but all right. Just to keep the board up. But of Q1, Dino Monkey is the fastest. 22.883. He did improve his time from what we saw earlier. Oh dear. Breaking news. I just saw this. Simo will start P17. Yeah, I did just notice this. Both Pro Euro drivers racing 22 and Unmastered both have a 5-place grid trial for illegal practice. So that means Racing 22 will start P18 and last on the grid, and Unmastered after going into Q2. I mean, he'll have to get into the top parts of the relegation zone to really not start P17. But as far as it seems like he's going to start P17. Any other stories here? Oh yeah, Scanned Racing. They have not shown up this entire season. They have not shown up today, so it looks like they will be replaced going into the next round, which should be next week, I believe. Yeah, next week at Helsinki in Finland. It's gonna be a cold one. Why are we going to Finland in January? Who thought of that? Anyways, Q2 underway. Bunch of cars have already. This is the 3-car gaggle. Oh, those are some sausage curves, I believe. I believe leading the line is James Rigby. Oh, that's the wrong one. 10 minutes for them to set their fastest times to try and get into Q3. Currently, only 2 drivers have made it into the 122s. We'll go on board with James. Right, James? Yep. Yeah, we'll go on board with James for his first flying lap of Q2. That's some curbs. Won't hurt him. Yeah, won't hurt him too much. Just needs to get a good run out of the final chicane. And he'll start his first lap of Q2. God damn. Was that flat? I haven't really watched the cars this weekend, but geez, I did not know turn 1 was flat. Or at least very close to being flat. Flat round here. Getting as close as you can to the wall on the left. And Roblox doing its thing. Alright. Let's see if this helps. That works, yep. That did not help. Alright, well, I guess we're not going to do that. We're just not going to do that. Never mind. Well, we'll see once they cross the line. Currently, Dino Monkey has the fastest Sector 1. James Rigby with the fastest Sector 2. Coming across the final chicane, James Rigby, or just James really, coming across the line, goes P1, 23.6. Dino Monkey here, coming through the last sector, double right into the fast chicane with the fastest Sector 1 of the day, and fastest Sector 2 of the day now. This is looking good. At least of the session, not the day. That's someone going off in the last chicane. I think that's one of these. So it says 22.9 by Dino Monkey. Very, very consistent there. Anyone else? Currently, Dino Monkey on pole. Well, not pole position, just top of Q2. James P2, Chris P3, Hiaz P4, and Piluka P5. It looks like Unmastered has put in a 125.6, which seems to be the fastest actual lap of the session so far. The bottom 4 haven't really put in a time yet. We'll go look at Cubson. Actually, let's see. Cubson, 19.7, 39.3. So it looks like the main loser for some of these drivers is Sector 2. They're way off in Sector 2. And a bit off Sector 3, but it's mainly Sector 2 where they could gain the most time. Epic there, 151.3, P12. Amazing lap for him. Both NWAs sitting there, P8 to P9, so not bad for them. They do want to get into Q3, but they're not looking too safe as of yet. Now everyone has set a valid lap time. So let's see, is Epic on a lap? Epic is on a lap improvement in Sector 1, 19.658. Will this work? It works for now. Oh, dear Lord. Well, that was great. Just Miriam is on improvement, so is ASM. What? Alright. I don't know what happened there. Improving by Cubson up to P12, still on a valid lap technically. I think he's starting to, I mean, he might get a new car. Just Miriam here currently P11 with a 36.2. If he puts in a valid lap, he'll definitely get into Q3. Well, through the final chicane, wide as you can. Just mirror him to the line, improving both sectors. Good sector 2 and up into P5, beating his teammate by less than a tenth of a second. Oh, this is that gaggle of cars in sector 2. Jesus. What in the world is going on here? Piluk is on an improvement. Kanye is on an improvement. Let's see what he does in the third sector here. 19.6 sector 1, 38.9 sector 2. This is looking good. This could be a possible top 5, top 6 time here if he doesn't mess it up. Very close to the sausage curbs. And to the final chicane, going over the curbs. Oh, that's a front wing gone. Oh, no. Well, to the line he goes. Still improves P6. Incredible job. Incredible job by Kanye Mellon there. 25.2 sector 3. Who else is good looking? Outguard is looking good, or good looking, I guess, as I said earlier. Through the final chicane with that's a bunch of cars ahead of him. Brody, sorry, Dino Monkey there, 22.8 sector 1. Outguard P8, 23.866. Anyone else here looking good? Not really. Currently looking at Hiaz in the Midnight Star, currently in P4. We can go to Green Ninja Warrior, the other NWA, on the bubble here in P10, 24.5. The time to beat for now to get into Q3. Still waiting for Epic and ASM and Cubson really to put in a half decent lap now. 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Green Ninja Warrior about to start his flying lap. I don't know which flying lap. It could be the second, third, fourth. Who knows? Not my job to count. Currently though, Brody. I might just say Brody most of the time for Dino Monkey. But Dino Monkey there still on top. The only driver to hit the 122s in qualifying so far, and looking really the most consistent. He is looking absolutely amazing today. Kind of wondering if Chris Boy's 22.1 might have been a fluke, but still waiting for Chris Boy to actually put in a half decent lap to actually try going into Q3. Okay, Green Ninja Warrior. That's a bit of a tank slapper, ain't it? Not looking too stable in his NWA. Anyone improving right now? Wrong button. Oh dear, that's not good. Well, Pyluka is looking good. Just Miriam's improving. Let's go to Pyluka there in the Hue Performance. He's a decent driver, a lot of talent. Can really drive a lot of things, really. But coming across the final chicane, we'll see where he ends up with this lap. It's good. It's a good lap. It's lucky he's pushing it. From P7 to P2, 23.4. That's going to be a major confidence boost. But to be honest, the time itself, not too great to really try and be with the really, really top guys, since they're just not trying as of right now. Just Miriam, Pyluka's teammates through the final sector. Improved sector 1, sector 2 wasn't really much of an improvement. I think he's down 2/10 there. But across the line, doesn't improve, stays P6. 35 seconds left on the clock. Here's Unmastered in P11. No improvements to sector 1 or 2. So is this? Yeah, it's an outlap. That's why. Currently still waiting for the bottom 3 drivers to put in a half decent lap. ASM down to P12. Not exactly. Same with Epic. ASM and Epic both in P12 and P14 is not what you want to see. Epic finished P2 last time out, and ASM finished P6 last time out. They're both very good drivers. I don't know what they're doing down at P13, P14. Time is done, so this is really their final chance to get into Q3. A Master improving in Sector 1. Same with Chris. He's also improving. Epic is not improving. ASM is improving in Sector 2, though. He has a decent Sector 1 at least. ASM, all he needs to do is a half decent lap just to beat a 24.5. That's all he needs to beat to get to Q3. Or at least try to get into the 123s. To the line where... That's interesting line. Up into P9, 24.2. Epic Lexer here. Oh, that's a sausage curb. Still improving Sector 2. Unmaster also improving in Sector 2. As of now, Green... oh, what? Epic. Okay, something happened there. Epic to the line. Goes P6. He is through. Unmastered now. Next driver to cross the line, 25.6. He needs to be a 124.2 by ASM. He needs to find 4/10 of a second, really. And to the line. Can't find it. He improves, but it's a 25.0. Cubson drifting across the final corner. He wasn't improving. It's a half diesel lap time, 26.1. Was not going to be good enough anyways. So, Dino Monkey on top. Chris Boy P2, 23.0 by Chris Boy. Not a bad lap. Pailuka P3 and James P4. Going out of Q2 is Cubson with a 126.1. Unmastered P13, who will go down to P17 with his 5-place grid penalty drop, and also still ahead of his teammates who qualified P17 and then down to P18. Green Ninja Warrior down in P12 and Cloxed out of Q2. I'll be honest, Cloxed, I mean, this top 12, I guess, drivers is very competitive. They're only, I mean, Cloxed and Green Ninja Warrior were only 3/10 off of getting into Q3. Q3, 8 minutes on the timer. Green flag will be shown soon, and then we'll get to decide who gets on pole position for the Greek Grand Prix here in, you know what, I should probably find out how to say that name for the city. Because it's a... Oh, it's just Piraeus. Oh, easy. Piraeus. In Piraeus, Greece. I thought it was something more exotic. Alright. It's taken them 50 seconds to get into the middle of Sector 2, and I think they're about to get into Sector 3 now. Alcard immediately with the 120 with the 28.7. Great. That's Sector 3, right? Yeah, it is. Oh no, it's somewhere up there, I think. Yeah. Well, Hiaz leads everyone out for the start of Q3, and he'll be the first to set a flying lap. Clean air in front of him. Well, let's try this again on board. Staying pretty far to the left. Turning in. Very nice apex there from Hiaz. I think there's a slight lift there. A bit of hard braking there. Decent enough, and then flat here through turn 4 or 5. I forgot. Staying wide, going into a hard braking zone here to the right. Staying clear of. Oh dear lord, that's not working. Well, I tried. Very close to the curbs, looking pretty good for Hiaz. Okay. Oh, well, that's not good, is it? He's going to finish out the lap anyways. James now leading the pack. Dino Monkey there, fastest Sector 1, 19.6. Same with ASM and Chris, but all on 19.6s. Pailuka also 19.6. Sector 2, 38.5 by Dino Monkey. He seems to be the best at Sector 2. 38.8 there by Pailuka. Well, we'll get to see a gaggle of cars here coming across the line. James will be the first. Through the finals. Okay. Oh, he's just giving up. Didn't even want to finish the lap. Well, that's great. Currently, fastest time, 22.9 by Dino Monkey. Again, in the 122s. Chris Boy going across the line, 23.9. That's a car in the wall. That is a car in the fence. Here's Kanye Melon, 133.5 for his outlap. We'll see what he does here for his first flyer of the day. Nice buildings. Great Greek infrastructure. Amazing infrastructure here today. I wonder if there's a cockroach anywhere that we can film. Currently, Dino Monkey on pole position. Probably look at P2 in the Hue performance. Not bad. Still 23.6, so he needs to find more time if he wants to improve his grid position going into the race. Chris Boy will improve. He has a 23.9. Same with Just Miriam. He will definitely improve. Epic just warming his tires, I suppose, or at least getting out of the way of his teammate. Let's go, Chris. Race winner from a few weeks ago. Not last week. Definitely not last week. We'll see the... Let's see the sector times. That's not the sector time button. Chris... This is an outlap, it seems. Hios goes up into P3, 23.8. 3 minutes left on the clock. We need to get some good lap times in. If anyone wants to defeat Dino Monkey there on pole position. I believe the only one that can stop him is Chris. He's the only other one in the 122s. He had an amazing 22.1. So we'll get to see what he does here. Into turn one, flat out. Very close to the curbs. Oh, that's too close to the curbs. That's way too close to the curbs. He was pushing. He was pushing. On board with Hios there in P3, 23.8 with his time. All right, everyone's putting in a valid lap at least. I've just been pinged a new thumbnail. This is an amazing thumbnail. Thank God we have that. My hero. Alright. I'll get to change that later. Currently, Dino Monkey still fastest. James there in P2. That was Dino Monkey there, just going across the screen. He's missed up the final sector. And now he will start another lap. This might be his final lap. There's not a lot of time left. I mean, if he wants to do 2 flying laps in a row, I don't know if he'll have enough battery for that. Very close to the curbs. Still waiting on some drivers to... Oh, wow. Dino Monkey was on an amazing lap, but he messed it up in the third sector from what we saw earlier. No one's improving, though. Everyone's on an outlap. He can still improve on this lap. It's he lost a 10th, maybe, doing that over the curbs. Outguard currently improving in Sector 1. Hios improving in Sector 2. Chris Boy looking... that's a very good Sector 1. Not as good as... Oh no, Hios. As a... You already hit 1. You might as well hit 3 of them. Across the line, Hiaz goes where? Doesn't improve his time. That's unfortunate. Chris Boy currently with the 19.5 Sector 1, the second fastest Sector 1 we've seen this session. Or at least I've seen this session. I don't know. Outguard looking good. Sector 2 wasn't amazing, but he's still going on for an actual battle lap. Chris Boy, 38.7. It's a good Sector 2, but not as fast as Dino Monkey Sector 2 usually. A few tenths off there. He has gained some time in Sector 1, though, from that 22.9. Surely now, at least he might get a 22 here. Oh, going over the curbs. A massive drift there. To the line. Session ends. P2, 23.3. It's not enough. They lost a lot of time there from that drift. Everyone else isn't really improving in their first sector, but they can improve in the second sector. Anyone? Everyone's on a lap at least. Luke is looking the best. He's already back in the pits. Epic. Currently, as we see here, on improvement in Sector 2. I think it was 39.0. He's looking good. This is looking good, but it'll be like a top 5. Here he comes to the final chicane. Very fast. We've seen a lot of drivers mess up their laps here. He's tapped the wall. Doesn't really mess up the lap. He's messed up a little bit. P8 could have gotten P6 or P. Could have done pretty well there. Unfortunate. He's lost some time there. Now Kanye also came across the line. P10. So that does it for qualifying for the Greek Grand Prix. Dino Monkey on pole position. 22.9 was the time to beat. He's the only one that made it into the 122s in qualifying. It's an amazing job from the British person, the British man, who also apparently enough has autism, as I was told. It's fair enough. Chris Boy P2, James P3, Luca up in P4, Hiaz P5, just Miriam P6, ASM P7, Epic down in P8 after finishing P2 last time out. Alcar P9 and Kanye on his first drive of the season as a reserve driver and a team owner. He's down in, he's P10. He's made it to Q3. From the first 2 sessions as well, let me go back to that. P11 will be Clocks, P12 Green Ninja Warrior, P13 Cubson, P14 Super Yup, P16 Leon. Sorry, P15 Leon, P16 Simo, P17 Unmaster, and P18 Racing 22. Both Pro Eras, which were Racing and Unmaster, both have 5-place grid penalties, so they'll be finishing. They'll be starting P17 and P18. We have some time here before the race gets underway. We'll have the race start in 6 minutes, so we'll go on break, and so that I can get some water, because, oh dear Lord. We'll be back for the race in a few minutes, so don't go away, please. I'm lonely. We'll see you guys soon. I feel like an idiot. I was muted the entire time. I'm a massive idiot. This, yeah, things get rushed, I guess. Happens. Anyways, Dino Monkey 1.3 seconds ahead of Hiaz there for P2. James P3, Chris P4, Piluka in P5. He's lost some time now. He's now trying to battle outguard there, trying to keep P5 for himself. You can go down there real quick with Piluka. He's gotten passed by outguard now for P5. Still side by side though. Bit deep there for Piluka. Now that might allow outguard a better run, but still very much side by side through sector 2. But Piluka has gotten P5 back from outguard. Bit wide there, still good to go though. And just Miriam, Piluka's teammate, behind this battle, trying to keep up with him and trying to get up with his teammate, trying to get in that battle for P5. That's outguard, massive DRS advantage there. All right. As outguard up into P5, he's well ahead now with the DRS. Back up at the front, the top 4. Well, really, 3 of the top 4 are in a train with Dino Monkey well ahead. That's Chris. That's a curb, man. Gap at the front, 1.2 seconds. They've gained 3/10 from the last sector. Chris Boy is not looking too bad. He is on the hard compound tires, so he's doing what he needs to do. He's keeping up with the front runners who are on medium compounds. This is what he needs to do. Doesn't really need to kill his tires. He just needs to keep up with them. Gap at the front, 1.5 seconds. Another 3/10 lost. Oh, okay, that's a tank slapper there for Chris Boy. Bit of a tank slapper. Still the 5-4 P2 rages on. The 5-4 P5 still rages on between outguard and Piluka. Just Miriam, I think, had a mistake. He's now battling for P7. Seeing him and Epic Lex are down in P8s. ASM still trailing behind them by about a second. Kloss another second behind at P10. And then the Super Yup and Unmaster looking at the in the battle for P11. This one. James into P2 now. Hiaz down to P3. Gap at the front, 1.7 seconds. At the line, it will be 1.683. Not much of a difference. Hiaz back up into P2 with, I think, DRS. Dino Monkey is having a great race here. He was looking good last time out in Berlin as well, but he had a mistake. He lost his front wing. He'll hope to not do that again here in Greece, although with the walls this close to the track, it's much more likely for it to happen. Through sector 2, that's a bit of a curb for Chris. He's lost some time there from that. He still holding on to P2. James will have the DRS here onto the back straight. Still looking very good for Dino Monkey here. 2 seconds ahead of his closest competition. Even with the DRS, James couldn't get past Hiaz. Just a bit too much of a gap there between the two drivers. Chris still keeping up with them. He also had the DRS. And now James trying to get past Hiaz there through the final sector, through the final chicane. And he's up into P2 and with a decent gap. And now that's a DRS for Hiaz and Chris. In the background, you can see Piluka and Outguard still going on at each other for P5. Bit wide there for Hiaz. Still good to go, though. Chris is somewhere back there. Yep, there he is. Looking down the field, Outguard, Piluka, P5, P6, just Miriam. P7 still battling with Epic Lex. We're going to go down to this battle here, side by side through Sector 1 or 2. I forgot where the sector line was. Still side by side, though. Epic Lexer on the softs, battling with just Miriam on the hard compounds. I have ASM lurking in the shadows there in P9. Cloxed in P10 on his own. If Super Yup and the rest kind of behind them. We'll go back up to the front. James Rigby up into P2. Gap at the front, 1.9 seconds. They're back down to under 2 seconds. They still need to gain more time if they want to battle for this win. Side by side into the final chicane. He is just ahead. Going a bit more wide though. And they're still side by side. And that's the Elmo there. Racing with them. A few laps down. A bit wide there for Hios. A bit close. But he's still good to go. Gap Outguard's actually catching up with them. The gap is now 1.6 seconds for Outguard. Kind of left Paluca in the dust. Outguard's trying to keep up or catch up to this battle for the podium. This is a great day for Accelerate. They need this to catch up to G-Force in the constructors since they had a 1-2 in Berlin. You can see Hiaz and Chris battling there behind James. Side by side, both with the DRS. Hiaz just ahead, and they'll be getting ahead of James going into the final sector, or the final few corners. There we go. Chris now side by side with James just behind Hiaz. Really just a 3-car gaggle here in the final sector. All inside of each other. Chris with looking like he had a decent run. Gap at the front, 2.8 seconds. They're all in the exact same thousandth of a second. That is interesting. 2.829, exactly the same. Oh, that's a curve for Chris. Lost some time there. He's still fine. I think he has hit the wall there, and that's James up into P2. Gap behind 2.2 seconds. This is very, very good for Dino Monkey. Looking farther down, NWA down to P15 and P17 for Kanye and Green Ninja Warriors, respectively. Not a good day at all for them. They really need Train Pig to get in here. Oh, very close to the curbs there. He's a bit tapped them for Hiaz, but he's actually now ahead. Who has the DRS here? Who hits the DRS? Everyone behind Hiaz. Yeah, today's a bad day for NWA. They need a Train Pick, and he's sadly not here. This would be an amazing battle if Train Pick was here. Sadly, it's not. It's still an amazing battle, though. James ahead. Hiaz P3. Chris P4. Over the curves, Chris much better, much more confident with the apexes. And he's now trying to get past Hiaz there, still side by side, into turn 1. Hiaz had an amazing run through turn 1 and 2, amazing line. Still 3-car. Oh, that's a curve for Chris, and now we're being blocked by Greek architecture. Still side by side though. It's looking good. Still looking good for everyone here. This battle is ridiculous. Like, what is this? What are we looking at here? Looking down the field, Outguard with a good gap. He's kind of in no man's land. Same with Paluca. Just Miriam in P7, still a second ahead of ASM. Epic in P9, battling with Cloxed there in P10. They're battling for the last few points positions. Both Isota, Super Yop, and Cubson both battling it out for P11 and 12. Those points. I need to look it up. Again, I think those are points. I kind of forgot. No, they're not. I guess that's it. I'm thinking of a different series. My bad. Anyways, a bit of a curb there for Chris. He's now up into P2. Wow, that's a lot of curb for Chris. He's well into P2 now. The gap at the front, 3.0 seconds. They've gained a few tenths there in the last sector, thanks to the DRS. But yeah, Cubs and Super Yacht fighting for pride really in P11, P12. Same for Unmastered, trying to keep up with them. They have Leon at P14, Green Ninja Warrior and Racing, and Green Ninja Warrior and Racing 22, both battling for P15. Kanye, I think, might be done for the day. Yeah, I don't see him on the spectate. So yep, Kanye is the first DNF of the day. He's done. He's done. He's had it. He'll be off to play GTA 5, I think. Currently, Chris in P2 on the hard compounds. Gaining a little bit on Dino Monkey there. Half a tenth, I think. At least gained. Oh, that's a curb. There goes all the time. There goes all the time. Chris now down into P3, but it has the DRS now. Gap between them and Dino Monkey, 3.3 seconds. They keep making mistakes, and this is lovely for Dino Monkey. He is gone. He is gone. Third of the way through this race. Once they cross the line, Dino Monkey with a 3.3 second advantage ahead of all of his other competitors today. I'm loving how Chris is taking the curves in the final sector. That one, not so much, I guess. He lost some momentum. But he's a lot more confident there compared to the other drivers. Good run there. Didn't really get much of an apex for turn 1, though. Having a better run than Hiaz. Up into P3. James still in P2. That's some curbs there for Chris. That's not good at all. Still side by side, inside of each other through the first sector. Chris has to bow out for this small battle here. Still side by side. Never mind. He's still going for it. And that's a bit more of a comfortable P3 for Chris. If we could see, thank you. Okay, close to the curbs for Hiaz. Basically grazed them. Grazed them again there, jeez. And they'll have the DRS here going on to the back straight. James in P2. Cubson up into P10. ASM, I think ASM made his first pit stop of the day. About 10 laps. Those softs last. Epic still needs to make a pit stop as well. So if they last, that's most likely a one stop then for these guys. Mediums to hards, maybe. 33 laps on the clock. Okay. Side by side there for P2. Hiaz has fallen off a bit. He still has the DRS though, so that's good for him. Chris up into P2. Yeah, Hiaz needs to make some time up if he wants to keep the DRS now. Keep up with this battle for the podium. I think he's still kind of in it. He's pretty far away though. And that's Chris comfortably into P2. James trying to keep up with him. Hiaz just barely within the DRS range. Needs to focus up. Gap to the front, 2.1 seconds. They've gained a second on Dino Monkey there at the front. Might be a mistake, but either way I didn't catch it. But Dino Monkey, his gap. Oh, never mind. Bit of a curve there. There's some. Oh, that's the NWA of Green Ninja Warrior without a front wing. Oh no. They're now lapping Green Ninja Warrior. They've already lapped him and Racing 22. They're the first drivers to go a lap down. Officially, I guess. James with the DRS going past Chris. I think he might have had DRS from the lapped car. Not entirely sure. But there's Dino Monkey up the road, 2.2 seconds ahead of this battle for P2. Still side by side. That's a lot of curve for Chris, and he's still ahead. But James has the DRS. Oh, great run through turn 2. Back up into P2 for Chris. That might have been a slight tap of the wall into the entry. I'm not entirely sure. Looked like it at least. He is now outside of the DRS zone. Did he make a mistake? Or is he in the pits? I believe he's made a mistake. He's now behind Outguard. Didn't catch what happened, but that's Outguard up. It's a P4. It was looking good. He was looking very good for the first third of this race. Still has a chance, though. Still has a chance. Not even halfway through this race. They've now caught up to the other Pro Era of Racing 22. And they'll have the DRS here. Jesus Christ, never mind. I guess they'll not have the DRS from the lapped car. I think James is the only one with DRS here. Nice job, Racing 22. Gotta love the content. Gap ahead, 2.0 seconds to Dino Monkey. They're still gaining time. It might be that Chris is gaining time because of like worn tires, and he's just dragging James along for the ride. Over the curbs. Still good to go. Gap to Dino Monkey. In the pits. He's in the pits. That's why. Yep. First leader of the day into the pit lane. From mediums on sure hards, right? Yep. Sorry about that. So, bit of a kind of a reverse strategy for Chris compared to everyone else. Still waiting on James to pit. A lot of the other drivers have hit. That's Hiaz and Outguard. I think also not. Was Outguard in pits? If it was, it's on the mediums again. Not entirely sure. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. So basically, a lot of people have decided to pit. They're now battling with ASM. Yeah, that's Outguard. I think that was Outguard in the pit lane along with Hiaz. He back on a set of mediums. All right then. Still waiting on the top two, top three, top four. Yeah, top four to still pit. They all need to. We'll go on board with Chris right here. James should be coming into the pits now, unless he wants to keep up with Chris. He has the DRS of Chris, so he can easily just keep up with him and try to extend this first stint. Yeah, that's what he's deciding to do. He's still has the DRS of Chris. He's keeping up with him. This is perfect for Chris. He'll go on to a set of mediums after this, I think. I believe there's no tire rule. I kind of forgot the rules. Great commentator I am. Yeah, but I believe there is no tire compound rule, and this is perfect for James. He'll just coast off the back of Chris, and he'll be with him on his second stint. Just Miriam there in P3. I think also. Did he start in the hards? I kind of forgot. I don't remember honestly now. I guess he did. Same with Cloxed. So they'll be going on for a long time. Dino Monkey now trying to get past Cloxed here for P4. And he has done it. Outguard still battling it out with Hiaz. This is for P6. Provisionally, who knows? Two DNFs now. Leon is the next car to DNF. That's some curbs there for Outguard and Hiaz. Please don't do that. 15 drivers left running in this race. Chris is not P1. James in the pits. That's why. James is in the pits onto a set of mediums. Hards. I guess there's a tire compound rule. My mistake. Unless not, because of Outguard. Honestly, I'm not paid enough. I'm not paid at all. I'll just be here commentating. Anyway, James out of the pit lane, up into P... Which position is this? Ahead of Outguard, so P5. Right? Is that That's Dino Monkey. Oh. Oh no. So the over... Is it? No, it's not. Okay. It's just... It took a while for it to update. I'm dumb. Anyways, that is Cloxed ahead of James. He is 5 seconds behind Dino Monkey. That undercut definitely helped Dino Monkey a decent amount. But James will have the fresher tires. And he'll also have the DRS here from Clockst if he's close enough. He is definitely close enough. He'll have the DRS. If he stays behind. I mean, Clockst is kind of slow here. Yep, he won't have the DRS anymore. Clockst will have the DRS. Unfortunate for James. This is also allowing Outguard to catch up. Same with Hiaz as well. They're all catching up now to James. So this battle for the podium is now getting pretty spicy here. James trying to get back past Clockst. Same with Outguard as well. And probably same with Hiaz once he tries to get past his teammate. Dynamonkey catching up to just Miriam there for P2. Less than 2 seconds behind him now. As it stands, I believe G4 still has the hold on the Constructors Championship. P2 will go to Accelerate, I would assume. I mean, Accelerate's having a good day today. Heat Perform is also having an amazing day today. Midnight, I think, as well. NWA, very bad. They'll lose a lot of positions here today. And Spectron is also having a decent one. Yeah, I'm not sure how this championship will play out. As for the drivers, though, Chris still holding on to the lead with 50 points. With 50 points at least. But we'll see how it plays out near the end of the race once Chris makes his pit stop. I wonder if he's made his pit stop now. He hasn't yet. James now battling with Outguard there for P4. They'll be catching up to Justin Miriam soon enough. There he is, just up on the road. I think Clockst has gone into the pits. Yeah, his time hasn't updated. Yeah, he's in the pits. $15 laps to go in this race. Chris with the 12-second gap at the front, slowly deteriorating. He has not made his pit stop yet. He's still holding out on very old hards. Dynamonkey and P2, just Miriam is, I think, same thing. He's also holding out on his old hards. And they have Outguard and James there for P4 and P5. Hiaz just behind them, ASM and P7. Epic P9, Pyluka P10. Pyluka P9. Epic P8. Clockst in P10. 5 seconds ahead of Cubson in P11. James still in DRS range of Outguard. They're catching up to Miriam pretty quickly now. The gap 2 seconds ahead of him. That's curved for Miriam, and they'll have the DRS, I think. Unless they get past him now. Yep, they've got past him now. So that's Miriam into the pit lane. So it's just Outguard with the DRS. Chris onto a set of softs. 14 laps to finish this race on soft compound tires. Possible, is doable. You'll need to gain a lot of time to do so. Currently, though, Dynamonkey with a massive gap at the front, 4.8 seconds ahead of James, with Outguard just behind him. Hiaz in P4, ASM up into P5. We have Chris in P6. Epic in P7. Chris essentially needs to gain a second a lap to catch up to one Mr. Dynamonkey, also known as M. Lawless, also known as Brody. Currently 10.6. I mean, he's doing it. He's gaining at least a second a lap, it seems. He's gained like 5/10 that sector. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on Chris. who's doing his best to at least get on the podium. He can definitely reach the podium. Whether or not he can get the win, that's a whole nother story. Gap to the front for Chris, 10.1. Yeah, that's a second. That's already, I think, a second. All right, then. He's already up to ASM. He'll get the DRS now. Let's go back up to the battle for P2, though. James holding on to P2. Outguard in P3. We see there's a bit of a gap behind. Gap is 0.8 of a second. Hiaz in P4, ASM P5. 0.2, less than 0.2 actually, ahead of Chris. Here we go, Chris trying to make the move on ASM in the second sector. Already ahead. Chris now needs to gain 2 seconds to get onto the back of Hiaz, just ahead of him. You can see him just in the distance. Won't have DRS here, but he'll have DRS possibly the next lap once he catches up to Hiaz. Gap at the front, James 5.8 seconds behind. Outguard another 0.6. Hiaz has no DRS, he's 1.4 behind Outguard. Chris has 1.6 seconds. He needs to gain 0.7 to get DRS onto the back straight for the next lap. Currently, though, he needs to go a lap. Maybe don't do a wheelie or go in the air. Gap to the front, 9 point. Well, he's gaining his. I think he's gaining a second a lap. I think that's another second. He needs to gain. We have 12 laps to go. He's doing good. He's doing it. He's now on the back of Hiaz. Don't think he'll have DRS though, because he's caught him very fucking quickly. Holy shit. Yeah, he won't have DRS here going on to the back straight, but he will get past Hiaz there for P4. And he'll gain another position right here. He's now 8.4 seconds behind Dino Monkey. He is gaining that second a lap. And we see James there still holding on to P2, just ahead of Outguard there for the few podium spots. This might be the battle for P3 once Chris Boy catches up. He is inevitable. Chris into P4, gap behind 0.7 of a second. Hiaz is getting DRS. Hiaz will try to keep up with Chris, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Bit wide there for Outguard in the accelerate. He's trying to make a 1-2 work for accelerate. Oh my days, James. That's gonna help Chris a lot. Outguard up into P2. James down into P3 after his massive tank slapper in the last chicane. And now Chris within a second of James. He'll get the he might get the DRS off of Outguard onto the back straight if they stay ahead of him, which seems kind of unlikely at this point. 11 laps left. 10.5 laps now. As James and Outguard are losing basically like half a second a lap to the leader, Chris is gaining a second a lap to the leader. Here's Chris now trying to get past James here. He's side by side with him. Hasn't got yet. He's got the DRS though. This is good. This is exactly what he needs to see. DRS in front of him. There we go, DRS. Gap to the front, 7.1 seconds. He's not really passing them. On the main straight, he'll have DRS. Oh, that's a curb, Outguard. He's lost a lot of time there, and that's Chris up into P3. James in P2. More curbs for Chris. More speed for Chris. More straight line speed for Chris, and with the DRS open. Gap at the front, 6.9 seconds. Chris needs to get past James now. 10 laps to go. Side by side for P2. Chris past James, and now he needs to gain 7 seconds in 10 laps if he wants to get this win. It's possible. It's possible. We'll see how long those soft tires last though, because he has been absolutely pushing it. I don't think they last 14 laps. He pitted on lap 19, lap 20. I believe lap 20. So he's good now. We'll see how he does on the end of his stint. Clean air in front of him. No one to distract him. He should be good to go. All that matters now is how well his tires will do at the end of this race. Gap to the front. 6.1 seconds. That is another second gained by Chris in that's 7/10 in sector 2 alone. Not many other battles really happening. I mean, there's one for P12 between Pailuka and Master. What happened to Pailuka? Damn. Well, that's Cubson up into the points position now. He's 2 seconds behind of ASM. Who's gone to pit for the soft. So yeah, different. You do have to use different tires. I don't know why people are doing 2 stops. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Anyways, Chris, 5.8 seconds to Dyna Monkey. .3 seconds now at the end of sector 1. 5 tenths in one sector. How many tenths will he gain here in sector 2? The most technical part of the lap, which the tires will really show here. Dynamonkey did pit pretty early on his stint compared to someone like James. It was pretty normal pit stop time. But it was like, what was it, like lap 14-ish? Something like that? Well, Chris coming to the sector line now. He'll have gained 1/10 in sector 2. He's gaining the second he needs. He needs to gain a second a lap, and he's doing it. He has been doing it. 8 laps to go once they cross the line. 5 seconds, the gap between P1 and P2. And he's already gained 6 seconds from the start of this stint. 4.9, it is now below 5 seconds. 8 laps. He is inevitable. What's also inevitable is the fucking tire life, isn't it? Looking down the field, no other battles really happening for positions. The closest is for P7 between Clocks and ASM. That's about it, though. Saying actually, just Miriam is trying to hold off Outguard for P5. He's still 1.6 seconds the gap between them. But Outguard does have soft compound tires. I think he pitted. I think Outguard pitted. He's gaining time. He's now within a second of just Miriam. Let's go to that. Kind of shocked that he pitted, because now he's behind Hiaz, who would not have pitted, but I don't know why he did that. Interesting. I would have believed he could have finished ahead of Hiaz for P4, but all right. I don't know what. Maybe just for pride, for fastest lap, just go fast. Fastest time. Wow, Chris with a 24.6 as the fastest race time. Epic second fastest. He's put in his best lap now. There we go. Dynamonkey has put 26.4 last lap. Chris put 25.3. So that is 1.1 seconds gained. 3.9 seconds the gap at the front. Outguard here trying to get past just Miriam for P5, and he's done so. He'll have to hold it off now, but I think he should be fine. He'll get P5, and some good points here for Accelerate. 3.4 the gap at the front now after Sector 1. Fastest lap of the day, Outguard, 24.5. Chris, though, 5 tenths faster than Brody in Sector 1, or Dynamonkey in Sector 1. I think Outguard now has P5 very much secured, unless he makes a mistake somewhere, but we'll go back to Chris Boyd. The gap now 3.2 seconds. The gap at the line. What? Still 3.2. 25.8, 25.816. Wow, yeah. 6 laps left to go. Can those tires still last? Dynamonkey 20.4, Chris 20.6. I think he made a slight mistake. I mean, he's lost 2/10 there. That's the first time he's actually lost time to the leader. I think the tires are finally now kicking in for Chris. You know what? If he hadn't made that mistake at the start of not going when the lights went out, he might have won this race. Those few tenths, you never know. Could have kept up with the Dynamonkey there at the front. But instead he had to battle with James and Hiaz, and now kind of lost him some time. Hindsight's 2020 though. He's lapping. That's Green Ninja Warrior there now, 2 laps down. Racing 22 will also be 20. I think he'll be 2 laps down once Dynamonkey catches. Currently, Chris is matching pace with Dynamonkey. He's not catching. He lost some time in Sector 1. He's gained some time in Sector 2. We'll see at the line what the time is, but I think the charge might be over for Chris. Gap at the line. He's just up ahead. He's just up the road. 3.25. He hasn't really gained or lost any time this lap overall. Sector 1 was really his main problem that last lap, where he lost 2/10 and he gained it all back in the other 2. I think now the tires are definitely kicking in for Chris. The gap now 2.8 seconds. He's gained 4/10. Never mind. 20.1 Sector 1, 20.5 Sector 1 for Dynamonkey. Alcart still within a second of just Miriam, but still holding on. Super Yelp still trying to stay ahead of Pailuka for P11. On to the back straight. Close to the curbs for Chris. Gap is now 2. Well, come on. 2.2. That's 6/10 gained on Mr. Dynamonkey there. That's Chris just behind him. 2 seconds is the gap. 2 seconds with 4 laps to go once they cross the line. Dynamonkey really needs to get that DRS off of the Primera ahead of him. That car is sliding so much. There's not a lot of grip left in that accelerate on those hard compound tires. 2.1 seconds. 2.1 seconds. 4 laps to go. Half a second a lap is all he needs to catch up to Dynamonkey and possibly overtake him. Dynamonkey has gone past the lapped car. This might help Chris. He might get the DRS off of that lapped car. Gap has not changed at the front. Basically the exact same Sector 1 between the 2 drivers. I think about now is when those tires are now kicking. The wear is now kicking in. Like, the other drivers could only last about 10, 11 laps. It has now hit that 10 lap mark. That's a mistake by Dynamonkey. That's not what he needed at all. That's going to help Chris. That's another mistake. Chris now very close. Might have gained a lot of time there in Sector 2. Gap behind. 1.6 seconds. That's 5/10 gained in Sector 2 after Dynamonkey has made the mistakes. Into the final sector. Chris is that close to Dynamonkey. Dynamonkey needs to hope those tires wear in now. And also stop making mistakes. Please. Gap at the line. 1.5 seconds. Another 1/10 of a second. 3 laps left to go. 5/10, and Chris will get that DRS from Dynamonkey. Those tires are very old. They're old. They're very old for Dynamonkey, but they're also hitting the cliff for Chris. Dynamonkey is making a lot of mistakes here at the front. He has basically led every single lap, apart from the time he had to pit. But he's had a flawless race until now. The pressure is on. 1.4 seconds the gap. He's very slow in that right-hander. He had to go very slowly. Those tires are gone. He is doing his best, but it might not be enough. Chris Boy in the background. Gap at the sector line. 2.5 laps left to go in this race. 1.483 to 1.617. Chris lost some time in sector 2. The tires are now falling off. The tires are now falling off. It's been 11 laps. It might be over. And that time lost at the start of this race from not going when the lights went out, when he just was not paying attention for the lights, that might be the difference between winning and losing a race here in Greece. Gap 1.8 seconds. I think Dynamonkey's done just enough to hold on to this win. Those tires are gone. Those tires have fallen off the cliff. Also, Outguard now catching up to Hiaz. Hiaz might lose P4 to Outguard. Oh, the gap now 1.4 seconds. He's gained 4/10 in Sector 1. Chris, the tires are not gone. The tires are still there. He's finding some grip. Dynamonkey can't. Really quickly, let's go to Outguard here, trying to catch up to Hiaz for P4. He is right behind him. He'll get that position. I have my mouse ready to go to Dynamonkey once Chris gets within like a second of him. Outguard now up into P4. Good job for him. I mean, yeah, P4 was realistic if he didn't pit, but now he's... Oh! Jesus. Commentator's curse, yep. Almost lost the front wing. Gap at the front, 1.2 seconds. That's a wall for Hiaz. Alright. So I think that's Outguard into P4 comfortably. Dynamonkey, the gap behind 1.2 seconds. Chris is doing his best. He's doing everything he can. Last lap of the Greece Grand Prix. Dynamonkey has had an amazing race today. 1.3 seconds the gap. All the time he has gained is in Sector 1 for Chris. This might be the time for Chris to finally do something here, to try and get into DRS range and try to get Dynamonkey in the last few corners. He's right behind Dynamonkey. He's right there. 1.333. He's lost some time. Absolute focus is needed from Dynamonkey to stay ahead of him for the DRS zone. No mistakes here. No mistakes here. He's done it. No mistakes. I think even with the DRS, Chris might not have... He might not be close enough to make any sort of move, even if he had the DRS. Which I don't think he even has it. 1.1 seconds. 1.1 seconds, the gap. No DRS. Dynamonkey, with as long as he makes no mistakes here. As far as... Oh, it's a bit of a tank slapper there. But as far as I know... Last chicane? He's done it. Dynamonkey wins the Greece Grand Prix here. Chris, with a valiant effort, will have to finish P2. An amazing effort from Chris Boy, the championship leader. But Dynamonkey takes the win here in Greece. James will finish P3. Outguard will also finish P4 here, coming across the final chicane, P4. Hiaz, P5. P6 will go to Just Miriam in the Hue performance. P7 to ASM once he goes across the line. P8 will go to Cloxed. P9 will go to Epic Lexer there in the G-Force. And P10 will go to the Assalta of Cubson, the reserve driver for Midnight. Decides to drive for Assalta today for the one race and gets a point. Super Yop, last driver to finish on the lead lap. Super Yop will finish P11. P12 goes to Unmaster in the Pereira. Racing 22 in P13. Green Ninja Warrior will finish P14. And we lost Pi Luca. When did we lose Pi Luca? Oh man. We lost Pailuka, we lost Leon, and we lost Kanye in this race. We also lost Simo before the race, but he just didn't start. Chris did everything he could to get up to Dino Monkey, but it just wasn't enough. Dino Monkey held out on those very, very old hards. Chris, I mean, fair effort for Chris. Fair enough. But after an abysmal race in Berlin for Dino Monkey, he'll celebrate here in Greece with Accelerate Racing. Just a celebratory donut there before the final chicane. Amazing job there from the Brit. Damn. Going to the schedule next week, we'll go to Helsinki in Finland. Please join us there next week, and hopefully we'll get another close battle here. But thank you all for watching. I've been your commentator, Nathan, and that has been the Greece. Actually, what? We got a podium. We can just go to that actually instead. Let's see. Kind of forgot we do have a podium in this. Been a while. Is that who I think it is? Is that the one and only Dakar with a job application? Actually, I apologize. I'm just going to have to run over here real quick just so I can see the names of who's who. There we go. We'll get the podium celebrations underway here. James Rigby had an amazing battle at the start of this race between Hiaz himself and Chris. For the first half, he's been at the front basically this entire race. He's had a great race. Chris, of course, also an amazing race for him. But if he hadn't made that mistake at the start, who knows? He could have won this race. But Dino Monkey, I believe, I believe he's won his first race here in Romula One. I need to go check it out real quick. Yeah, I believe so. I believe that is his first win in Romula One. And that does it for a very competitive day here in Greece. Next week we'll go to Helsinki, Finland for round 3, season 6 of the Romula One Romula One World Championship. I've been your commentator, Nathan. Thank you all for watching, and good night. Or good evening, wherever you live.